Welcome to the 200th episode of the Generation Podcast with Dave and Joe. Podcast for older people like us. I don't remember this. I don't remember it, Breeze. I don't remember it. It's been a long time since I've done it.
It's been 4 years.
Yeah, wow, not quite that long, but I haven't done that in a long time. But
No.
yeah, let me find some. Here we go. I think this deserves a. And let's see, maybe one of those.
There we go.
Let's see. Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Oh wow, that's a nerdy one there. I'm surprised you even have that on the board.
Yeah. Why not?
Do you even know what that's? You don't even know what that's from, do you?
It's from a video game. I can't remember which one.
that's the infamous Final Fantasy victory theme.
Oh, that's it. Yeah.
That's something I would expect other Joe to have on the board. I was surprised. I'm like, whoa, it's just playing that.
Sorry, I'll stop.
That came through really loud on my headphones.
It was pretty loud.
Hopefully, we normalize that before you publish.
I'll give him my best shot. So welcome to the show, everybody. Episode 200. We were trying to get the other Joe on for the show, but he was not able to make it. Had some work stuff happening and couldn't be here. So we thought it'd be fun to have him on for this one, but you're stuck with us.
Joe the Lesser and Dave the Greater.
Yeah, we should really start like trying to push for guests again. Like
I think so.
I think after like 20, what do you got? Like 24 episodes now, something like that? 25?
Something like that. Yeah, I just need more friends, I think is the problem. I need to actually have cool people to bring on the show. I'll think about it. I'll brainstorm what I can do. You live a much more, I think the nature of your work leads you to come in contact with more interesting people.
Yeah. Well, you have people in your close proximity. Like you have your wife.
I do.
She would ever want to be on the show?
I don't know. I could try and see if I spend some marriage points and be like, hey,
just let her. I should probably be a little bit nervous about me, but just let her know I'm a good boy on the show.
I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't know. I don't think she'd be too nervous. She's got a theater background too, so I feel like she would have a good presence on the show. She'd probably be pretty comfortable with it.
Oh,
so.
Really? We should. Maybe I should see if she wants to be in the next short film we make.
There we go. We go. We'll just come down. The two of us will just come down to your studio, and we'll help you with your short film.
Thanks, man. Yeah, we're actually making another one here shortly. Yeah,
that's what you said. I'm excited to hear about that.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to happen in like a week and a half, but I'm looking at the projected forecast, and it's like supposed to maybe snow. So that ain't gonna work for what we're trying to film.
Okay, I was gonna say it depends on the movie. That could be really good news for you.
Yeah, well, it's all outside, so I don't want to have to subject us all to really cold temperatures for hours on end. Yeah.
Is that bad for the equipment too, or do you have enough protection for that stuff?
No, I mean it would be okay, but it'd be bad for us. It would just suck. I don't want the experience to suck.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but
such a nice guy.
Yeah, but anyway, so I wanted to, before we jump into everything else we got going on here, we went to Parents' Weekend over the weekend. And it'll be last weekend when this one comes out, but I went down and visited our daughter, and her roommates got to hang out with all their parents, and it was fun. Like we had a pretty good time. We did some tailgating in their front yard, so that was fun.
Is this what you did the Jello shots? Right, you were bringing those down.
Yeah. We did. Oh, dude, I tell you what, we had a pretty hard summer of drinking. Like there was like just so many events and activities and things that you socially drink at and stuff like that. 4th of July, just camping, just parties. Anyway, summer is always hard for your liver.
Yeah.
So after like our last thing we did, which was a concert in July, my wife and I kind of like pulled back from drinking, and between July and last weekend for Parents' Weekend, we had drank once. So we weren't like conditioned at that point for the amount of adult beverages we consumed. Yeah, so I tied one on pretty good. I was not feeling too amazing in the morning, but
That can hit you if you're out of practice, like anything else, right? Like, it's like the opposite of what, like when you go to the gym or you start working out, if you haven't done it for like 3 weeks and you're like, oh, and you're like all sore and stuff. Same thing for drinking, right?
yeah,
You take it easy for a while and then you're like, oh, I gotta ease back into this.
I didn't ease back into it. I went full throttle right in.
You think I throw this back out at the gym, except for you're throwing your body out because you're doing shots.
Yeah, it was a day and a half. Like, I mean, we joked about it before, like not like a day and a half hangover.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but we
I
drank
thought you were like a day and a half of drinking.
Oh
I'm
God,
like,
no.
shoot.
No, we did drink for like 12 hours. Yeah, but the funny part was when we were at the apartment and we were in the front yard, I brought my little Weber grill and was making some brats and stuff. And dude, the aroma of hot dogs and brats, excuse me, had to cough, attracted some local people. Let me just say that.
Okay.
Yeah, and they were like, I was standing there, and we were all kind of hanging out in the front yard. There's probably like like a dozen of us out there, and I look over and I see this dude just standing at the end of their lawn on the sidewalk, just staring at us. I saw him, and then I just kept doing what I was doing. And I looked back over, he's still standing there, so I put my tongs down, and I walked over to him. I'm like, "What's up, man?" Like this guy's kind of weirded me out. Like I didn't see what's up, and he was like, dude, I don't even say half in the bag. He was blasted. He was pretty drunk. And so I'm like already kind of nervous about, of course he was like a smaller dude. I probably could just thrown him over the bushes, but anyway, he was just kind of talking, couldn't really understand him. And the whole time too, his fly was wide open. So that was kind of comical. Everybody was laughing.
That's kind of funny.
Yeah. But anyway, so what he was getting at though, with all this gibberish, was he wanted a couple hot dogs.
Well,
Yeah, so we gave him, actually, at first he wanted one. So we gave him a hot dog. He took off. He came back and he's standing there again. I'm like, I walk back over. I'm like, you after more hot dogs? And he's like, yeah. He's like, I thought I'd get another hot dog and I want to take one back for my wife too. So I'm like, all right. So and then he requested relish this time. So anyway, made him some dogs. He took off. Then like 15 or 20 minutes later, some other guy standing there. And I walked over. I'm like, what's going on, dude? And he's like, I heard that you guys are giving away hot dogs. I said, what's your name? He's like, Brian. I'm like, Brian, this is not an actual thing that's happening. I said, but if you want a couple hot dogs, I'll hook you up.
That is so, I mean, I get it. I guess I'm not, I don't know, that personality type. I don't understand that because it's so far removed from how I am.
Yeah.
Like I can't fathom that. I'd be like, but I get it. Like if you want a hot dog, man, then maybe, especially if you're like wasted.
It was odd. I'll say that.
Just have nothing there. It sounds odd. It sounds,
but to be
really
fair
odd
to both of them, they were super nice guys. Like they were totally harmless. But we did find out too from the second guy, from Brian, that
hi Brian,
that the first, if you're listening to the show, Brian, what's up, man? The first guy that was there, Brian did not think that this, he's like, how well do you, I'm like, how well do you know this guy? And he's like, pretty well. He's like, I've known him for a long time. And I'm like, is he married? He's like, I don't think so. I'm like, I was pretty sure he just made up a fake wife to get a second hot dog.
That's an interesting thing you do for a hot dog. I'm just gonna make up that I'm married so I can get extra free food.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Wait, you are married. You don't have to make it up, dude.
No, I'm just saying, like in general, like hypothetically, one makes up that one is married so that I'm gonna get free food. That one food. Yeah. No, not me specifically.
Yeah.
Yes, I am married. But I do want an extra hot dog next time I see you, damn it.
I know. We'll bust out the hot dog. Did you have anything going on in your life before we jump into the other stuff?
Honestly, everything's just been really working up to that Taekwondo demonstration that's happening in a couple of days. It's 2 days away, and I'm like, stay tuned for next show. Yes. I can't wait to hear about this. I'm gonna see there'll be a couple people videoing it, so I'll share that with you so you can watch it in advance of the show, hopefully.
Yeah, dude, that'd be awesome. Oh, I hope so.
Yep, I got my blindfold ready. We're all good.
All right. I do have one more thing I want to talk about before we jump
Yeah.
into the rest of this. So yesterday, I think it was, I had to stop at a local Giant Eagle, and I was, where you're doing that game you play where you're like check out the checkouts. You're like, they're going to be a while. I'm like, let me see if there's another one open.
Oh
So
yeah.
I found the one, and actually she was standing there, but her light wasn't on. And so I kind of hesitated, and she kind of waves me, and I'm like, are you actually open? She's like, yeah. I'm like, is your light bulb burned out? She's like, oh no. She's like, I just didn't turn it on. Anyway, so
It's one way not to work.
yeah. So I walked up and I started putting my stuff on the belt. And of course, I'm typical small talk. I'm like, so how you doing? And she's like, it's like, not too good. I'm like, oh God. I'm like, here we go. I've been in these before. Like, this is not going to go well. I'm like, not so good. I'm like, well, what's up? I should just shut up. And she's like, just trying to decide if I want to leave my husband. I'm like, whoa. I'm like, okay. I don't know what to say to that. So I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, well, that sucks. And she's like, yeah. She's like, I caught him talking to another girl again. Okay. I'm like, well, that's not cool. And it's like, yeah. She's like, it's like the sixth time. She's like, so I've kind of had it. It's like, he'd be in jail if it wasn't for me. She's like, I had to pay like his fine, or he was going to jail. I'm like, well, first of all, like, after that information, he sounds like a stand-up guy. So anyway, so she just kept like talking about like, men and marriage, and how, she's like, it needs to be like, it's like, it needs to be a 50-50, relationship, and this, and I'm just like, I'm like, my eyes are like glazing over, and or the expression of glossing over. And anyway, I kind of like look in my peripheral vision at the other checkout lady behind me.
Yeah.
And I could just make out, without making it obvious, like looking over my shoulder at her, that she was standing there with her arms crossed, just like staring at this other cashier. I'm pretty sure that after I left, she probably got yelled at.
That's quite a lot as a cashier. I used to be a cashier a long time ago. I was a kid though. I mean, I was young, but wow, like that's a lot. Wow. I hope the Pepsi was worth it, man, or whatever you bought from the grocery store.
I don't even remember. Yeah, don't unpack all that crap on like your, no pun, on your, clients, I guess, or your customers.
Yeah, that's too much.
I mean, I think
that's too much.
Everybody goes through something.
Yeah.
And something you have to kind of tuck away at your own job. And
yes.
You always just have to switch gears, put on the happy face, whatever it may be, put your employee hat back on and do your job. And then you go home, or you bitch at somebody on break, whatever it may be. Like, you never bring it to the job.
That's not yeah, you're right. I agree. That's not the place to process things, especially, I mean, well, and you and I both really, but you more so. I mean, you've got to put a game face on. Like, I have an office job. I have an opportunity where I can probably, like, if I'm in my workspace, I can be a bit grumbly to myself, but I have to turn that off as soon as someone comes to talk to me.
Yeah.
Like, can't unpack, you can't process that level. And I feel for that person. That's a shame, but wow, you just like, no, like, that's not something you could process. But I'm not an oversharer at work either. Like, a lot of people, I don't talk much of anything personal. Like, people know I take tech. I probably less than I talk about on the show in terms of like about me personally.
Maybe they should listen to the show and get to know you better.
Maybe they should. I just don't bring I just don't bring my personal stuff to work. Like, I just don't, that's just not, you're not going to get into my personal life at work. It's not, because it can lead to awkward things too. Like, if you start to build too close relationships at work, and then something happens at work, now you've complicated that.
Oh yeah.
A lot. Even at a friendship level, you've complicated that, and it can be really messy. So I tend to avoid that personally, but I can't imagine doing that to like somebody like that I don't know at all. Like, my coworkers I see every day. So that's a bit different. Like, I know, about them, and they're, we all know, oh yeah, I got to take my kids, or
right.
I'm traveling this week, so I'm we're having pizza every night for dinner. Stuff like that I do. But Not like, oh wow, not to a complete stranger.
Yeah,
That's
no,
bold. I mean,
it is.
you must just have a magnetic personality. Is my
You know what?
uh
I was wondering that too. I'm like, why? Like, why? Like, why did she feel the need to open? It's not every customer that comes through the alley. I can guarantee you that. Like, why did she feel
no.
for a moment that she needed to open up to me? It was just
I mean,
weird.
you're a very friendly person, and you just give off those like vibes,
Like,
like you're very
spill your tea, like all your crap to me. Like, why? I don't want to know all this.
maybe my wife has that vibe.
Oh, does she?
People will just exposit and just process their shit with her. Like
I'm sure she loves it too.
yeah, it's a double. I'll tell you a story. This is actually kind of an interesting story. So she and I were up in Toronto, and just the two of us walking around. She had gone to college in Toronto, gotten her master's degree up there, so she's familiar with the area. We're walking through Toronto, checking out some shops, going to get lunch. Really nice day, great city. This woman walks up to her, very small woman, walks up and just approaches.
How small?
My wife. I just don't like my wife's not, she's small frame, right?
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, a petite woman, probably close in age to us, very broken English, approaches my wife and asks my wife for assistance in using the ATM because she doesn't read English and she can't. But that's how trustworthy my wife could be. Somebody approached her to ask for help using their own bank card at an ATM.
Did she have to put a PIN number in for her?
No, she knew that part,
Okay,
but
right.
she probably still, but like that level of trust. Like, can you imagine going up to somebody in a foreign country that you don't speak the language? Like you're going to, I don't know, Italy, whatever. And you're just like, you don't understand the language at all. Now everything's in multiple languages, but 15, 20 years ago, that wasn't the case. Yeah. Just completely. So maybe you just have that vibe.
Maybe
People just are like, oh, you're a tall, trustworthy man with a handsome beard. And I'm going to dump my life's problems on you.
Yeah, I guess. Did you ever have your kindness kind of backfire a little bit?
I'm not a kind person though. So
That's true. Yeah. You are a bit of an
People
ass. No, I'm just kidding.
but people don't do that to me.
I have less approachable.
I think so.
Okay.
I think so. I've been told that I have an angry thinking face.
Oh.
So if I'm thinking about something, my brow furrows in a way that makes it look like I am pissed off. And I've heard this not just from my family, but like coworkers. They will actually signal to me because they know it about me, and they'll signal to me to raise to fix my face, basically, because I'll be thinking about something. And my coworker Carrie, he's like, "You look pissed," and I'm like, "Ah, dang it!" He goes, "Fix your face." Okay.
I called out a waiter one time. I don't remember where we were at, but they were being like kind of rude and just really, I don't know what the word is. They were just being very short, and I could just tell that they were not having the best time. And they came back and like they were just like they just like tossed stuff down the table, and it was like it wasn't aggressive, but it was just like kind of they just didn't care. And I would ask them, like, oh hey, can I grab like this? And it was like, yeah. And it, like their answers were like really like just kind of rude.
Wow.
And I was like, hang on a second. I go, do you really hate your job that much? And they just kind of looked at me. They looked at me like their expression changed. I'm like, I'm just saying, man. I'm like, you are, I don't know if it's us, if we did something to you. I'm like, but you are being like really like rude. And the whole thing changed. Like he was like, oh, he's like, I am so sorry. He's like, I just had like a really bad day. He's like, I didn't mean to like, be like that with you guys. And his whole like demeanor changed. But yeah, I'm never one to like, not say something.
Thus you built a podcast.
Right, yeah. But
like I have so much to say. I need to say it to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people.
Yeah. So anyway, we should probably get on with the show here.
Good.
Blabbing about other stuff for 20 minutes.
It's interesting though. I just think I'm curious now. I kind of want to like engineer a social experiment to see like what people like what you would get away with or what people would like look to you to help with, like kind of like Dave on the streets.
Oh,
like,
dude,
take you to a city and just see what happens.
A lot of the times, like I'll be at like a Walmart or something, and if I see like somebody would just stop me and just be like, "Hey, can you grab that for me up there?" I don't know if it's just because I'm taller
Yeah, that's probably.
Yeah. Well, this other
I
time,
mean, I would. You're tall enough. I would ask you for help in
Yeah,
grabbing
true.
something off the top shelf.
yeah.
Short Italian that I am.
But this one time I saw this guy, he was in one of those like little Walmart buggy things.
Yeah.
And he was, I'll tell this, then we'll get moving on with the rest of this. But anyway, so he was trying to like reach with this like little grabby thingy
Oh, wow.
for this case of pop on the bottom shelf. And I'm grabbing something else, like, probably 20 feet away from him. And I'm noticing what he's doing. And I just walk over. I'm like, can I give you a hand with that? He's like, oh, it's like, that would be fantastic. He's like, thank you. He's like, I need 3 of those cubes of pop. I'm thinking like, how the hell were you going to grab him with that thing in the first place and get him into the cart? And anyway, so I grabbed the one, grabbed the next one. And the third one, there was one more left. And it was all the way in the back of like the shelf, like clear back, like 4.5 feet deep.
Oh no, were you like army crawling in there to get
I
it?
did get on my stomach. And I'm crawling underneath the shelf trying to get this thing to pop out. And it was like kind of stuck. Oh my God. I'm like, I should not have asked this.
You are just too kind for your own good, Dave.
Yeah, he was very happy though. I helped him. And I was got a little bit dirty after that. Like, man.
Oh yeah, the shelves. Oh gosh, stock shelves are so bad.
Yeah. Let's see here. So we have a story I found about a shark.
Yep.
Yeah, not the
story about a quote unquote bear.
Oh, we have 2 bear stories.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And oddly enough, both bears weren't really there. You'll find out soon what that means. Anyway, but the one thing I do want to mention real quick before I tell you this little thing about the shark thing, just is a fun fact. But anyway, the Outer Banks on Netflix just released season 4, and they did announce a season 5. They always put them out like the first half, and then like a couple weeks later to the second half. But anyway, if you say you don't watch Outer Banks, right?
I do not know.
Man, what do you watch in pop culture?
Oh gosh. I just started watching The Diplomat season 2.
So what are you watching pop culture?
Well, I'm still catching up on Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Okay.
And,
all right. That's a fun show.
That's really my big one. And then my oldest started watching Young Sheldon. So I've been catching up. I've been watching like 3 or 4 episodes of Young Sheldon.
Okay.
Spin-off from The Big Bang. It's okay. I like Brooklyn Nine-Nine better, but there's fewer child actors in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, so I think that helps too, because the acting quality just immediately goes up when you're not doing.
So you haven't watched Game of Thrones?
No.
You haven't watched Outer Banks?
No.
Have you watched Stranger Things?
Yeah, oh yes.
Okay. All right. God. There, at least you got one.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, so since you haven't, I mean, I'm not going to spoil anything for you, but I don't want to spoil anything for anybody else.
Okay.
I just wanted to mention that 2 things about Outer Banks season 4. One, are you familiar with the film technique called day for night?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Yeah, shooting day for night, and is it dry for wet? Is the other one where they use air for water simulation? Air for water? Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're listening and you're wondering what day for night is, they literally just shoot a night scene in the middle of the day, and they will turn it kind of a bluish tone. It's sort of like it's the cheating, like cheap way to do night scenes. Instead of waiting till night and then lighting everything properly, for your scenes, which look way better, obviously. But I think for some sort of budget issues or whatever, time restraints, they shot all their night scenes in the day. And it was
all of them?
All of them. It was kind of annoying. Like, because it's literally just because you can tell it's daytime with a blue filter over it. Like, it was done.
So it wasn't even done well.
No,
because there are movies, there are feature films that do a pretty decent job of that.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a technique in the way you shoot it, and perhaps even like, I don't know, if you do it like under the cover of trees. I don't know. There's got to be like a really good way to pull it off convincingly. But it looks silly. It just looks silly. I did not like it. Anyway, the second thing, I can't spoil this because if you haven't seen it, all I got to say is not a fan of the ending. That's all I can say.
Well, see, now here's the thing: is you're not incentivizing me to watch this show at all.
Oh no,
Like,
no, the series was actually really good. It was much better in my opinion than the prior series or season. It was. I just did not love the choice they made in the ending of this season, and I'm kind of bummed. But I can't say anymore. That's all. If you've seen it, you know what I'm saying. If you haven't, go watch it. If but be prepared. Anyway.
well, not every season can end like Stranger Things and end on never ending story. You know, that's perfect, no notes. But
that was so good, dude.
Oh, yeah. So great, so great.
All right. So anyway, do we have the shark thing?
Yeah, tell me about the shark thing because that you teased it earlier.
Yeah,
I kind of
want to forget about it.
Yeah.
So they have. I don't know when they figured out this shark existed, but it's called the Greenland shark.
Okay.
I only learned about it maybe like 3-4 years ago, and it's a shark that lives. Well, I'm assuming in Greenland, but it lives like under the ice, and it's odd looking. Like it doesn't even have like regular eyeballs. Like I think it lives like on the bottom, and it just look up a picture right here. I hear you typing there.
Yeah. Sorry.
Anyway, but something they discovered about these sharks is they have a rather long lifespan. I think like a typical like tiger shark or something, maybe like I don't know 40, 50, 60 years maybe. Great whites maybe like a little bit longer. This shark lives to be up to like 500 years old.
Oh my gosh.
500. Like, so I started thinking about it. I'm like, all right, like if this shark was born 500 years ago or, around there, it would have been alive potentially when Columbus sailed the ocean blue and discovered America.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. What's happened in the past 500 years?
Yeah.
Everything.
Everything. America.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Everything is at 1500. I mean, my God.
Yeah, exactly. Like 1492, America's discovered. And then, everything beyond that, like all the wars that have happened, the developments, going from, huge, vast, open, United States. And then, when they were divided and like the shark's been alive for all that. Like, it's crazy to me. I wish there was a way to like, I wish it knew all of this. All it knows is eating shit off the bottom of the ocean.
And apparently happy to do so. I'm reading a little bit more about this thing. So like, and oh wow, it's just insane. Okay. So oh my gosh. So they're pups, the pup sharks, the baby sharks, gestation period of 8 to 18 years.
Yeah.
They are pregnant for 18 years.
That's a long
time. They don't even reach sexual maturity until they're 150 years old.
That's crazy.
This is nuts. This is absolutely insane. It weighs up to over 2,000 pounds.
Yeah. Finally, 150 years old, he's ready to get his shark swerve on.
Shark swerve. His shark swerve on.
Why is it so like everything is so slowed down with this thing?
Oh my gosh. Ed, you're right. Well, maybe it's because it's so cold. Is it a cold thing? I don't know.
I don't know, but it's very odd. Like it's an interesting creature. Does it say when they found this thing, like officially?
Not that I'm seeing yet. This no, it's the article's not concise on that one here. Maybe I have to scroll down to get to this now.
When
really.
Was the Greenland?
You'd think they'd be like in the first paragraph.
You would think. Oh, when was the Greenland shark discovered? Let's see. When was the Greenland sharks? No. Today, Greenland sharks are typically caught by accident in nets. Doesn't say. Anyway, well, there you go. All I know is I found out about it not too awful long ago.
1846, maybe.
Oh, okay.
It's got a bunch of different names. And I'm wondering, like, I'm looking at the list of names it was called, and it's changed over so the earliest date I'm seeing is in the 1800s.
Maybe the discovery of how long it lives was something recent.
Well, that's the thing too. I mean, that was 200 years ago.
Yeah.
that they discovered this thing. So you'd think, oh, well, that's an old, that's an old shark. Come back 250 years later, that damn shark's still alive.
Yeah, but people that discovered it wouldn't know that unless it has some sort of like very specific marking on it and they found it again. Like they documented.
Tagging creatures is pretty common. And I don't know how long that's been around.
Not 200 years ago.
Well, I don't know. Maybe. I mean, look, Darwin was tagging shit back in the day. So I think so. I'm kind of speculating, but I mean, science is science. Like, it's been around for a long time. You think about it that way. They did some weird stuff, but I mean, tagging animals just to see, hey, just keep track of it. Like, know which shark is which. Like, makes sense that you would somehow.
I get why they do it now. In the past like 50 years, but I don't know, just 200 years ago.
Well, there we go. Food for research.
Yeah, there you go.
Start tagging animals.
All right, so before we jump into our 2 bear stories, is there any good national days coming up? We got to check them out.
You know what? I'll tell you what. There are absolutely just nothing good in the way of national days coming up. The one is like just a random tangent. I'll bring it up because I think it's kind of funny. Is Monday, November 18th is National Vichyssoise Day. Now,
who's he? What are you?
I've lost you already.
Yeah.
So it's a fancy soup that's served cold.
What's it? Oh wait, what's it called again? Cold soup.
Vichyssoise. And the only reason that I latched onto this is a movie reference. And I think it may have been the second Batman. It may have been Batman Returns with Michael Keaton, which, by the way, I think Michael Keaton's a fantastic Batman. So in there, Alfred serves him some soup. Michael Keaton takes the soup. He takes a bite. He goes, Alfred, it's cold. Alfred goes, it's Vichyssoise, sir. Batman gives him a blank stare. He goes, it's supposed to be cold. He goes, oh. He takes another bite. He goes, it's good. And just goes about the scene.
I think I remember that scene.
Right, but that's Vichyssoise. That's the only reason I know what it is at all. It's a cold soup. It's designed for like super hot climates, super hot days. It's a little bit weird that it's celebrated in mid-November. Maybe, I guess, on the southern half of the planet where it is a bit warmer at this time of year. But yeah, I'm not a cold soup fan. Have you ever had cold soup? Like,
yeah, I was gonna say, like, is there any soup other than Vichyssoise, whatever they call it?
That was pretty good for you. That was
Vichyssoise. Vichyssoise.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Close enough.
God damn
yeah, there you go.
Close enough. Yeah, I don't think there's any soup that I would rather have cold, or not even rather. Just I don't think there's any soup I would want to eat cold at all.
I'm not a cold soup fan. I've had it a couple times, couple places, social events and stuff, and I'm just like, nope. It's been awkward because you get served it, and I'm like, well, I got to eat some of this, right? Like, it's not good. There's just, it's a mental thing. I'm sure it's a mental thing, right? Because you just got to you push past it. Like, it wasn't like it wasn't tasty. It's just that's not what I'm looking for in a soup, right?
I'm just thinking. I'm sorry. I'm just thinking.
Oh, it's okay.
I'm like, my mind is going to my poor wife. She has to deal with me in odd situations sometimes
for the rest of her life. Yes.
Yeah. Like, all I'm imagining is like we're at a restaurant and we get served Vichyssoise, whatever it's called, and I would have no idea what it is, and my reaction would be probably loud. I'd be like, what? I'm like, why is my soup cold? Like, is your soup cold? Like, my soup is so cold. She's like, stop. It's like, it's supposed to be cold. I'm like, I'm not eating cold soup. Like, I don't want to eat cold soup. Can I have him heat it up? Like, she'd be so embarrassed.
This all tracks too. I can totally envision you. It does not take much to make that jump narratively.
Yeah, I know.
For our listeners, that is spot on.
Yeah.
That is not fiction. That would absolutely happen.
Yeah, she would be trying to calm me down.
Yeah, you'd be outraged.
Yeah,
that's so funny. So anyway, on November 18th, you can have some cold soup.
And I would probably start taking a poll around the table.
Oh yeah,
like, who's actually enjoying this? Raise your hand. Like, you enjoying the soup? Like, I don't think that anybody should eat this. Like, raise your hand. Do you like this cold soup? And then if they raise their hand,
comes up, Brian's like, "Hey, can I get some of that cold soup?"
Like, yeah, here you go, buddy. Want a hot dog with it? Anyway, so that was the only interesting.
That was it. That's it. There's really no interesting national days coming. I don't know if it's like taking like a Halloween to Thanksgiving break, but there's just nothing coming up.
Yeah, it might be.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's jump into these stories, man. I'm excited.
Oh, me too.
I'm gonna have you take us on the first one here because
Hey,
I'm excited to hear what happened. I saw the
okay.
title, I saw the headline.
Yes, yes. Okay, so this is in California, Los Angeles. 4 residents from the Los Angeles area were arrested this week. This comes from the Associated Press. After an investigation, the California Department of Insurance revealed that they actually used a life-sized bear costume to stage attacks on their vehicle in an attempt to secure a 6-figure payout. The suspects have been charged with insurance fraud and conspiracy, according to an announcement of the department on Wednesday. Their alleged scam cost 3 insurance companies $141,000.
Wow.
Yes.
Is the picture real? I saw the photo.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a legit photo of the guy in the costume.
Yes. Yes. Detectives found the bear costume at the homes of the suspects accused of orchestrating fake bear attacks on their vehicles. So describing for our listeners, it's a bear costume. I mean, it's a adult sized bear costume. It's very hairy. Like it's a lot of fur. Like it genuinely looks pretty. It's very, very furry. It's not like you don't look like a Muppet, right? You don't look like you're on Sesame Street. Like it looks really, really pretty authentic. And I suppose because I think they submitted video. These defendants have submitted video. And then there's like a pair of, I don't call them brass knuckles, but that's all I can think of. Like there's the paws from the costume, but then there's these handle mounted piercing devices. I mean, they almost look like fork tines, right? But like imagine brass knuckles, but with like 6 points on the end of it.
Yeah.
Like for stabbing stuff. Like, and they were clearly using that to scrape up their cars and then claim damages. And you know, I don't exactly know how this works. Like, I don't know if I'd want to, I mean, I guess if you don't like your car and you want to just get $141,000, then go for it, but you will get caught. Yeah. So the fur costume, let's see. Yeah, I guess you can just get them.
That is so funny that they
fur costume.
Like they had to sit around and think of this. Like they obviously wanted to get the insurance money for the car for whatever reason. I don't know if it was broken or something. They're like, well, like, or if they did something to it by accident, who knows? Maybe they just didn't want the car anymore. And they're like, well, we just need to trash it so we can get the full value out of it. And they decided as a group to get a bear costume, get some metal claws, video it like on surveillance.
They video it, yeah.
And then they were like convinced enough in their own heads, like, oh, it looks pretty legit, right? they submitted it to the cops, like, oh, we got video proof of the bear, man.
Well, that's the funny part. So here's the thing: is the video is online. Like you can look, the video is linked in the article. But here, I just love this quote here. The department had a biologist from the California Department of Fish and Wildlife review the 3 alleged bear videos. And they determined it was clearly a human in a bear suit.
That's so funny.
They executed the search warrant and found the costume complete with a furry, snouted head, paws, metal tools in the shape of claws in the suspect's home.
You think they would have gotten rid of that?
Oh my gosh! Unless they were going to go to a different state, and
I don't know, man. Way. Like, all right, like, look, once we do this, like, we need to burn this costume. Or just throw it in the dumpster, like anything, just get rid of it. Like if they even come snooping, like that was it, man. Like that's all they needed. Like they were already suspicious, and then they go to the house and find the costume, like that. If it wasn't there, you know, maybe there's some deniability in there still. Like, no, dude, like we totally didn't do it. I don't know, because you know, you just all they're doing is making judgment off of the video clips they saw. Without the costume, they don't have the smoking gun, you know? Yeah. Anyway.
Oh my gosh. It's too funny.
That is pretty hilarious.
You can check out the video online. It's kind of funny. I wouldn't be able to tell, but I mean, you get Department of Fish and Wildlife. They were like the way it moved, whatever. It's like, yeah, that's a lot of effort for insurance fraud.
You know, I think this kind of falls in like, I'm not saying, you know, people need to be trying to pull off, you know, insurance frauds, but this is sort of like those the murder shows on TV. If you watch enough of those, you probably start to get an idea of how people get busted for murder. Like,
oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, you wonder about that. Yeah, I wonder about that too, right? Are they tipping their hand too much in terms of like crazy ideas on how you might try to get away with something. I don't know. Isn't that's like the concept of Dexter, right? Wasn't that the the TV show Dexter?
Yeah, did you ever watch it?
I've seen like 2 episodes of it.
Mm-hmm. Did you really, or did you see some clips on YouTube?
No, I've actually seen 2 episodes of it, but it was like ages ago.
I'm sorry, I wasn't giving you the benefit of the doubt.
But isn't there like a 6-season show though? Like, I mean, like I've seen like a drop in the bucket of Dexter, but I know the premise, right? Because obviously, but it's like using that inside knowledge.
Yeah, and they do. Like the premise of that show, he was a crime scene like blood spatter detective. Yeah, and worked for the precinct.
Blood spatter.
Also
that was the official title, actually.
That was the official title.
It was blood splatter detective. That was his job title, probably.
Yeah,
I'm kidding.
It might. I don't know. It was blood spatter analyst. I don't know. Anyway, he had a problem. He was a serial killer in his spare time, and they showed a lot in that show. How to, I don't know, I guess, build a kill room with like a bunch of painting drop cloths and duct tape, something like that. Yeah, but anyway, on to the next story here. So I found, Breeze, like I said, another bear story. This was on NPR. It says, a man told 911 a bear chased him off a cliff. Weeks later, he was arrested for murder. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah.
What? Okay, explain.
Okay. It says, in mid-October, a man called police in eastern Tennessee claiming a bear had chased him off a cliff. But authorities arrived on the scene to find the body of a different man, sparking a multi-state manhunt for the caller that ended up with his arrest on murder charges that this weekend. So just this recently, like a couple days ago. So authorities said Nicholas Wayne Hamlet, 45, befriended and lured his victim into a wooded area to take both his life and his identity. So Hamlet, who was using an alias at the time, has a lengthy criminal history and was already wanted in Alabama for a parole violation. It says after the October incident, another warrant was issued for Hamlet's arrest on first-degree murder charges in Monroe, Tennessee. See, state and federal. There's a spot here. That's just like legal mumbo jumbo. So they did catch him. Says after observing Hamlet, the killer, they put out a $5,000 reward for any information on this guy. It says a good citizen, alerted the authorities and brought the manhunt to a peaceful end. But anyway, so there's one more spot here. No, that's a different story. Yeah, so the whole gist of this story was, it's just a bunch of other crap there. But anyway, he lured this guy into the woods, like befriended him, went on a hike with him, and then pushed him over the edge, but took all his stuff and put other credentials into his pockets. So he would be dead, but he was because I think probably because he had a checkered past of legal problems. And he was trying to change his own identity by stealing this man's identity. And it did not work.
Okay, so he was trying to fake his own death.
Yes. The authorities, I guess in the autopsy, discovered that the body was in fact not the man, that was in the, on the driver's license in his wallet. Yeah, so the search was on and they figured it out. But yeah, so there you go. If you're an avid hiker, and you make friends with some stranger at a bar and wants to take you out on a hike, maybe don't do it.
Unless it's Dave, because he's the friendliest guy on the face of the planet, apparently. So,
Yeah.
He'll give you a free hot dog.
I brought some hot dogs. Yeah, I hope you like relish. But anyway, yeah, so what else we got? Do we have anything else going on in the show? Or we just
not a whole lot, man. Not a whole lot. It's a bit of a slow week. Although I did just see a news post that Mike Tyson slapped Jake Paul during their weigh-in this morning.
Oh my gosh! I guess we should talk about that. Yeah, that's happening tonight.
I literally just saw it just came up on my news feed, and it just says boxer Mike Tyson slaps Jake Paul during their weigh-in. This is Mike Tyson's first sanctioned fight since 2005. I'm not a boxing aficionado, but I know who Mike Tyson is. He is 58 years old, former heavyweight champion, takes on the much younger YouTuber turned boxer Jake Paul in Texas Friday night tonight.
Yeah, this is airing like on Netflix.
Yeah, well, and this apparently he flat out slaps him during the weigh-in.
What's he doing?
Yeah.
I
don't know.
Just kind of get him all amped up, like
I guess so.
Mad, comes out swinging hard.
I have no clue. I've actually never really watched a weigh-in here. They're doing the weigh-in here.
I wonder what Jake said to him.
I don't know. They came in at each other, and then Mike Tyson just flat out just slaps him in the face.
You know what? I wonder.
There's no audio. There's not audio that I can hear.
Yeah, Jake he had this thing on his ear, like this like metal thing, like studs or something all over his one ear. And he showed it to the camera during an interview, and he said, I got my ear ready to go so it doesn't get bit off.
Dude, I would totally do that. Like that's if I had that kind of talent and that kind of attitude, I would totally like just pimp out my ear with like a defense system.
Yeah.
just to poke fun at that whole ear thing.
Oh man, Mike's a beast. He's a beast. Even at 58, man.
58 years old. Oh my gosh.
He's not your typical 58-year-old dude. Like this guy is like, he's probably in better shape now than he was 10 years ago.
He looks like he's in great shape.
He's ready to fight this guy. I'm glad Jake is confident. Jake's a good fighter, but man, there's got to be like a little part of him inside that's a little bit nervous.
That's a daunting persona to take on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I was watching some of the like warm up practice videos of Mike, like hitting this big bag. Like it wasn't like your traditional looking like long cylindrical bag.
Okay,
it was like this big round like beach ball size like punching bag, a really heavy bag. And dude, he's thumping into that thing. And if he hit like me or you like that, I'm probably dead.
Oh yeah. The internal bleeding alone.
Oh.
Like that's just, oh my gosh.
Yeah. Dude hits hard. So I think, what's your prediction? Like, I know, like, neither one of us know enough about, either one of these fighters, like we all know Mike's a great fighter, but I don't know enough about Jake. But do you like just your layman's have no clue what to expect?
I think layman's expectations, I would say it's probably going to go with Jake, simply because if it turns into an endurance match, like if it becomes a test of endurance, unless someone flat out gets just laid out and knocked out, I think Tyson's probably going to tire faster. Like he may be in great shape, but he's almost 60. And I'm layman's guess. I think the fatigue will hit him first.
Oh, it definitely probably will. I mean, Jake's got 25 years on him, I think, or something like that.
That's what I'm saying. Like unless there can be some great shots in there that really lay someone out in a way that is going to impede them from continuing, if it goes through attrition, Mike's going to tire out first. I just think he's going to get weaker faster.
I think that's fair. I think Mike's plan is to not get to that point.
He can't. He can't let it get to that. I don't think he can. I agree with you.
The striking power. They both hit hard, but dude, the power behind Tyson. I think his ultimate plan is like max 2 rounds, and he's gonna hope for that classic, Mike Tyson, uppercut and just put him down.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm still scared of Mike Tyson from playing Punch Out on the Nintendo. All right, like that is like he's so daunting. Did you ever play that game?
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh. It was unbeatable, basically. Like, I don't know anyone personally who's ever beaten that game without cheats. Like that was it. It was great. It was Mike Tyson's Punch Out. You could get through every other fighter in the game. As soon as you got Mike Tyson, you lost.
Yeah, done.
Like you couldn't beat him. Which, to be fair, if I had a video game, I'd make myself unbeatable too.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. He's like, no one's gonna knock me out.
Yo, you did the accent a little bit there. He said, "Come punch you out." His list.
Yeah. For the record, not making fun of you, Mike. Not making fun of you.
No, we're not, Mike.
No. You're a great fighter, great man. Well, great fighter.
Good luck tonight. Good slapper, good biter, great fighter. Go.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, let's call this one. Let me find the outro here, guys. Yeah. Thank you for joining us for our 200th episode of the Jackson Podcast. And we will see you next Monday.
All right.